Hello, everyone. Good day to you. I'm Pastor Tanya Parker, and today, for the second Sunday session, I will be speaking to you about love. Right? Love. Yes, love. We think so much about love. We use the word love in so many things. We talk about loving people. We talk about loving food, loving things, loving hobbies and interests. But let's get to the foundation of love. Here at TWCC, we have been talking about God's redeeming, sacrificial, everlasting love. And one thing we know for sure about God's love, it is so deep, so wide, so high, it's so vast that our ability to understand it and comprehend it, it just is not there. It actually, God's love can envelop ours and swallow it because He is pure love at its foundation. So there is always more space, more depth, and more time for all of us to engage in what it means to truly love and to know God. Because God's love is everlasting, and that means it has no end. It can go on and on and on and on. When I think about that Energizer Bunny commercial, I was like, well, that's going to have to eventually stop because it's a battery. God's love just goes on and on and on without end. And when we think about love as humans, sometimes we think about our hearts. Scripture reveals that God's heart towards human is love. So when we think about love in our hearts and we think about God, think about a love that never ends and it has no conditions. I know that's hard for us to think about because as humans, we sometimes put conditions on love. If someone hurts us or offends us, we will limit our love. We will have a pause in it or we'll try to stop it. And we'll do things that humans do. God is not like us. And we need to understand that love is not merely something God does. It is who He is. God is love, and therefore everything that He speaks, everything that He creates, everything that He initiates flows from that essence of Him being love. And Jesus teaches us, if we can recall, in Luke chapter 6, verse 45, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And since this is true for us, how much more is it true for God that out of the abundance of heart, since we equate the heart with love, that we speak and love should be coming out? But for God, because love is His essence, He spoke and creation came to be. He spoke and we came to be. So there's creativity and love in His speaking. Now, we cannot give what we do not have. So when we talk about love, if there's no love within us, if there's no love within our hearts, then it's not going to flow out of us. And because God's very nature is love, He creates in a rooted love. So what is rooted in our hearts? Really think about it. Because if your heart is hardened or something is keeping you from really feeling love or expressing love or receiving love, we need to do something about that. It's almost like something needs to get on top of our hearts and drill into it. But it doesn't have to be that hard. It's a surrender. It is a matter of us making up our minds that we want to love like God. If you really want to love like God, ask God to make that change within us. And He will, because that's what He does. He created us in His image. We are created with God's DNA in us. It's in us, you guys. But sometimes we let life get in front of all the things that of our spiritual nature. We let the world sometimes seep in so deeply that we become more responsive to it than we do about God. So we really need to self-check, to reflect, and to see where we are when it comes to matters of the heart. I wrote this message thinking about us being made with love. And then I said, not only are we made with love, we're made with love by love because God is love. And we are made with love to love. So we are not just on this earth to exist, do whatever it is that we feel like we want to do, and then go on to the next life. No, no, no. We are purpose field. God created us out of love to do something. Every single one of us has a purpose. And the purpose that we have is rooted in love. And so because we are made with love, love should also flow out of us. It is something that we should do. It is something that we should act upon because love is not a feeling. If we are talking about love constantly as a feeling, it's fleeting. It just comes and goes and everything. That's not truly love. That's something else, right? God's words and his actions flow from who he is. And the same is true for you and me. We cannot claim to love God and act in selfless ways towards others because love leads to loving actions and loving words. And it also says in 1 John chapter 4, verse 8, whoever does not know God cannot love because God is love. So if we claim to know God, we have to know love. We must know love because that's who he is. And then to go further, to know God and to know love is to also do what love does, and that is to love other people. So if we have a hard time loving other people, you guys, it's really us and it's not God. And that takes me to another thing I've been thinking about this week. When we think about love and how maybe we've been offended or someone has hurt us and we do turn away or go away from the people, some people do that with the whole church. They'll say, I don't want to be a part of the church. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that because the people in the church. And that's the key part. You're saying the people. And then, but you're turning away from the church, which is the bride of Christ, and you're turning away from God because God on this earth is us, the people who make up the church, right? Not the building, us, the people. So we can't say that we are going to love God and not love people because then we have limited love. We've limited it. And though it may be wrong when people hurt us and offend us, but we cannot base the way we love on what they have done to us. We have to base our love on who God is. God can help us to rise above any hurt that we've experienced from other people. Even people who love God also. We love God also, and guess what? We are fully capable of hurting and offending other people as well. So that love extended is also forgiveness. Just as God has forgiven us, we must forgive other people. And if we have a hard time forgiving other people, that is a heart matter that we really need to let God get deep into it because the roots of whatever that is needs to be dealt with. Otherwise, we're going to continue to live a life that is actually slightly loving. And that's not what we want. That is not what God called us to do. Love is a command. It's not optional. It says, love the Lord your God and to also love your neighbor as yourself. We can find that in Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 39. That tells us not you can love God and you can love your neighbor as yourself, or love God and you might love your neighbor as yourself. No, love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So when you think about your neighbor, who is that? That's anyone that's not you. Okay? Anyone outside of yourself is your neighbor. Not just the people in your neighborhood or the people in your apartment complex that live around you, above you, under you, right beside you. Not the people whose houses across the street and all that. Those are your neighbors. But guess what? Your neighbor is also the people that you pass on the highway, the people you run into in the grocery store, the people who are in line wasting time and you're trying to get somewhere, the people who say and do the things that just irk you to the nth degree. Those are your neighbors. As a matter of fact, I think that our love is really shown to us more when it's tested. Right? When our patience is running low, we really have to pause and respond with love. So it's an active will of ourselves to do love. Okay? Remember, love is an action. It's more than feelings. So we have to remember that love actually produces character. When we go into 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that they call the love chapter, that they use that a lot of ways. But when we really think about it in practical terms about love being patient and kind and all of the things that it says about love, we have to also think about God in that respect as well. God is patient. God is kind. God does not envy. God does not boast. Now, if that is true of God, put yourself in there. I am patient. I am kind. I do not envy. I do not boast. Start to really let that sink in and believe it and receive it, because what we truly think about love is going to come out of us in our actions and our words. So we must have a really strong foundation of love within us in order for it to come out properly. That means we must focus on our God. And then also, as we continue to grow in our faith, love is going to reflect our spiritual maturity. Jesus teaches us that love is that distinguishing mark of his followers, right? It says in John chapter 13, verse 35, by this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. You see that? That makes us stand out. That distinguishes us, the way we love, the way we act. So it is not for us to just say, I love. We have to show it. We have to live it. So I want us to think about that as we go through the rest of this day, the rest of this week, the rest of this month. What does it truly mean to love, knowing that we are made with love? By love. We are made with the love of God because God is love. Now, how we take that into the world and how we exemplify that, that's up to us, because we do have a choice in the matter. But we must remember that God commanded us to love. It's not optional. So let him love us the way he intended as he made us, and let us be the example of his love in this earth by loving one another, truly loving one another. So friends, let's continue to walk in love, behave like we know our God as we say we do, and continue to be the light in the darkness, because our love is needed more now than ever. God bless you and keep you always. Take care.